All right, and at the India AI Impact Summit, I'm joined by two power women, if I can have the liberty of calling you that, Dr. Sinemus and, of course, Sindhu Gangadharan. And I think, a big question which is on everybody's mind right now is that it seems it's the US which has the software, as we call it, the models and the large language models advantage, and it is China which is leading the way when it comes to robotics. I want to understand first from you, Minister, you were talking about that robotic wheelchair example in Germany. Eventually, at the cusp of, let's say, India-German relations, is China still going to be a challenge as far as mass-scale manufacturing is concerned?
I would say we are the one who are combining the different layers. And I think that is, at the end of the day, the better way for building up an ecosystem. And we need ecosystems even in the AI. So the combination of SMEs, robotics and AI, I think Europe is better than China.
All right, Europe is better, but I'm not sure if Europe can compete with the pace and the cost with which China is going to make robotics. So is that a concern or is that an opportunity for Europe?
It's not always the fastest way the best. I think if you really have that in mind, what we, and I think India will share it with Europe, if we are going forward in having the humans and the benefiting of AI, of the humans in the focus, then we are sometimes faster, but at the end of the day, it's the better quality. And relying on quality-based AI, which is benefiting the humans, I think that is the good way we in Europe want to take. And I think this relying on the values and responsible AI, that's important for the society in Germany and Europe and in India as well.
All right, she is talking about humans, and I think, something that you mentioned in your address as well today was humans in the loop. I think the conversation is now moving humans in the loop, humans in the lead, or are humans going to be left to languish? I think the eternal question about jobs, job losses, especially coding jobs, how serious a threat is that, Sindhu, especially as far as India's export advantage goes, which all these years has been IT services?
Great question, Kartik, and a very pertinent one and the need of the hour, if you ask me. The way I see it today is when we have the power of many of the large language models which allow us to be extremely fast, extremely productive. I mean, if you just look at some of the solutions which we are using, like GitHub Copilot or any of those, right? The productivity gains are immense. But at the same time, like also what the minister alluded to earlier on, right? What we are kind of doubling down as a nation and as partnerships between Europe and India as well is to look at domain knowledge, right? Because finally, we're all solving problems. We're not just writing code for the sake of writing code, right? We're solving problems in domains. And a lot of the work that we are driving here in the country is also to build that muscle when it comes to the understanding, the problem solving, the design thinking, the application of AI in concrete industries, because that is what really helps, and that is where we can take these productivity gains that we have to drive solutions to concrete use cases that we are trying to solve for countries, for the society, for organizations to run better.
Fair enough, but some argue that perhaps the Indian IT sector has been a laggard when it comes to artificial intelligence. Now, I understand large language models is something that we may have missed at least the first 2 or 3 buses on. There might be more to catch, but do you think India's real opportunity lies in the small language models, and that is the kind of success that we are seeing with the likes of Sarvam AI?
Absolutely. I think Sarvam is a great use case, and where we are going down into the foundational model level to really drive that support for the multiple languages that we have here in the country so that we can take these innovations, like I said, to where they really need it, right? To the people, and people want to speak in their local languages and drive those use cases in the local language of their choice. And that's what I meant earlier on as well, right? We need to, it's not about, hey, did we miss the big LLM race? How smart are we to apply the technology to solve problems at scale that we have here in India and really bring that prosperity and welfare, like Prime Minister Modi was alluding to everyone in the society, right? And build those partnerships with countries who have similar value systems and ethos of bringing that kind of inclusion across the world.
All right, final question to the two of you, and this is something again which has been making news, and this is about social media, labeling of social media, synthetic content, and potentially banning social media. We also had heard the French President, Mr. Emmanuel Macron, yesterday say that France is considering and is pretty much on the verge of banning social media for the under-15s. Australia did that for the under-16s. Which side is the German government thinking right now as far as social media, its addictive nature is concerned and the kind of mental health issues as far as Germany thinking is concerned, ma'am?
We have to think about this, right? But then it has to be age-driven. At the other hand, it's not only limiting at the other hand, it's to educate people, to educate even not only the people, to educate the teachers, to educate the parents. So I think it's not a one-dimension question, and therefore it's not a one-dimension answer. So yes, we have to think about restricted for several age, but on the other hand, we have really to build a huge education program for everybody, so that at the end of the day, the one who is using the social media can decide what is good, what is not good, and what are fake news.
All right, Sindhu, 20th February, today is the day that our own new guidelines on social media labeling were to kick in. Overall, what is the kind of reaction that you are seeing, from the big tech, from these, social media companies? Is this a real opportunity for India to really crack down on social media labeling for synthetic content and prevention of deepfakes? Or do you think there is a real need for India to have a more stakeholder balanced engagement and really come out with something which is likely to work better?
Yeah, I think India has always been pretty balanced in the way we have looked at things. Take AI, right? We have not been too heavy when it comes to regulations, but we've not gone all the way out when it comes to let's bring it all for in. And the India AI mission has really focused on laying down guardrails which really support and drive forward innovation, and particularly in the area of social media, honestly, those guardrails would also help, right? And I fully agree. It's also about building systems around us which give us a broader perspective. I mean, social media is great. I mean, we all use it for various purposes, but to have guardrails around usage, I'm fully for that.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Sinemus, Sindhu Gangadharan. Pleasure speaking to the two of you at the India AI Impact Summit.